Hi, folks. I'm Sherrod Brown. It's an honor to represent Ohio in the U.S. Senate and to represent our country. And thank all of you in Ohio and for that honor. I'm so appreciative of that. I 1 month ago yesterday, I cast the most important vote of my career. I remember leaving the building on March 6th and to get in the car to drive home. I've been driving back and forth to Washington, riding back and forth in the car to Washington. And a reporter said, "What'd you think?" As I was leaving the building, I said, "This was the best day of my career. We succeeded in putting shots in people's arms and putting money in people's pockets and sending our children back to school and putting workers back into their jobs. And because of the Rest American Rescue Plan, because of the Biden administration's leadership, vaccinations are up dramatically. We're now averaging 3 million vaccines a day. You may remember back on the inauguration, around the time of inauguration, President Biden promised 100 million vaccines in the first 100 days, a million a day. We're now averaging 3 million vaccines a day. So we're ahead of schedule. It matters to get our economy back in shape. This weekend, we're not just averaging 3 million a day. This past weekend, 4 million Americans got shots in a single day. 1 out of 4, nearly 1/4 adults are now fully vaccinated. Here in Ohio, 31% of Ohioans have received at least one vaccine shot. 18% of all Ohioans are fully vaccinated. We see light at the end of this awful, awful tunnel. Remember, the concept of herd immunity rests on everyone getting vaccinated, people continuing to do their part to stop the spread. The number one thing we can do to safely get people back to school and children back to school and people back to work and life back to normal, the most important thing we do is get everyone vaccinated. That's what we're doing with the rescue plan. Now every Ohioan over the age of 16 is eligible. So talk to friends, talk to your family. If you've gotten the vaccine, share on social media, getting the shot, talk about your experience, spread the word. It's how we end this pandemic. I came across a picture of my brother, who is even older than I am, as a child getting his polio vaccine at Brinkerhoff Grade School, administered by my general practice physician dad, giving that shot to my brother. And we know that because of public health in this country, we essentially eliminated polio in the United States and almost everywhere around the world as we eliminated smallpox and as we kept Ebola from taking over our country and causing such huge damage. So we know what we need to do. Until we're back to normal, don't let up. Keep encouraging family and friends to wear a mask, to social distance, to wash your hands. At the end of last month, I sent a letter to the new Secretary of Labor, Secretary Walsh, asking the new administration to begin the process of updating the overtime rule to give more than 100,000 Ohioans the opportunity to earn overtime pay. It's simple. If you work extra hours, you should earn extra pay. 4.5 years ago in Columbus, and one of the best days, frankly, of my career, I stood with then Vice President Biden and Secretary of Labor Perez. We announced that the Obama-Biden administration was going to finally raise the salary threshold to earn overtime pay, making millions, literally millions more American workers eligible. The Obama rule would have meant that 4 million Americans, 130,000 Ohioans were going to get a raise. But those workers never got that raise. Politicians around the country sued to stop it on behalf of their corporate backers. Apparently, they thought that was the best use of their state's taxpayer dollars to stop workers at the behest of their corporate masters, if you will, these politicians, to stop workers from making more money. Then the Trump administration came up with a new rule that leaves more than half those workers behind. Right now, workers earning more than $35,500 per year are not eligible to earn any overtime pay. That means people making $38,000, $40,000, $45,000 a year, middle managers at banks and restaurants and grocery stores, they're forced to work 50 or 60, even 70 hours a week sometimes without getting a cent in overtime pay. That's just not acceptable. If you believe in the dignity of work, if you believe in the American dream, we need to raise that threshold. We need to make updates automatic to keep up with the rest of the economy. So I've called on the Department of Labor to set the threshold at the 55th percentile of earnings of full-time salaried workers. That means a majority of salaried workers would get the overtime pay that they've earned. Think about what that would mean for workers and their families. For workers who already put in long hours, it will mean more money in your pockets to put food on the table, to pay down student debt, to save for the future. Or for others, because employers may not want to pay this and may find other higher, whatever they might do. For others, it'll mean more nights. They're not working overtime, mean more nights to forced to so they can spend that time sitting around the dinner table with their family, or when they get vaccinated, take their kids out to the movies or to a baseball game. It comes back to the dignity of work. If you put in the hours, the hard work should pay off. That's what the overtime rule does. That's why we're asking the Biden administration to update that overtime rule, giving tens and tens of thousands of Ohioans a raise, giving Ohioans more time with their families, underscoring the importance of dignity of work. That's what the overtime rule is all about. That's what the Biden administration needs to do. That's what Congress needs to do. Thanks for joining us.